Don't call me shawty, I just called you up cause I need somebody. Said I'm not falling, boy, but there's something about the way that you're talking.
Welcome to the Broccoli Pod. We're your hosts. I'm Augie Dupre.
And I'm Capital J, and today we're here with our guest.
My name's Willa.
How long have you been doing music for, Willa?
Okay, so I've been singing like my whole life and writing for a very long time, but seriously pursuing music, it's only been like a year for me.
Okay, what got you into seriously?
I started working in a different studio than Calvin Sunday, probably just about a year ago, and I met him through a friend and worked with him for a little bit, and then Liam actually was the one who introduced me to Davey Lilo.
Okay.
And then I just kind of started making music with him and started taking it really seriously at that point because it was just something I really wanted to do for a long time, just be in a studio. Then just kept going from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have a album coming out.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah.
And we
In
just
2
heard
weeks.
we just heard one song from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, July 1st the album drops. It's actually my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice! And then
so-
you're having a show that day.
That same night.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so gonna be a big day.
That's
but,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
might have to push this podcast forward.
Yes. Yeah, we could
We'll
do
see
that.
if that's possible. Yeah,
is
that might
possible.
be something we can do.
Cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, if it's before July 1st, definitely go see her show. Where is it?
It's
And
At
Who's
the
gonna be
Cellar.
there?
Yes.
At the Cellar,
So we're
nice.
doing it at the Cellar, and we've got 5 openers. Tamentez is going to be there, Cedar Red, Jordan Jones, Sayla, and then we just have a bunch of other cool artists that are coming too.
yeah.
Yeah, and then my friend Jacob Akon is going to be playing too.
Oh,
Definitely.
nice.
That'll be
Yeah,
awesome.
I haven't heard him before, but I see him all over the place.
Yeah, he's very
doing shows.
talented. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be awesome. You're very talented. You have
Thank
a
you.
great song we just listened to.
Thanks, yeah.
What was that called?
It's called Tightrope.
And the album?
The album's called Blueprint for Breakups.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
How'd
that's, a good
you-
that's a good name.
Yeah,
too.
how'd you
Nice.
come up for that? With that?
It was a thought I was kind of just thinking over a year ago. It was something I've said to people before. I feel like when you're in relationships and breakups especially, it's there's no right way to handle it. And everyone feels like they're supposed to be healing in this very linear way and doing everything right. And you got to distance from the person, not talk to them and stuff and do everything perfectly. But the whole truth of it is we're all just human. And there's no right way to handle anything, especially heartbreak and love. And so I was just telling a friend and I was just hey, there's no blueprint for what you're going through. There's no strategy or process to handle it correctly. And then that was the first line I ended up showing Davey. And then we wrote a song based off that line, and that song's Blueprint. And then the whole album just kind of piggybacked off that
I
idea.
just fell into that. Okay.
Yeah, so
Nice.
all the songs are about heartbreak and love and just being young and navigating all that and just learning that there's no right way to handle any of it. And you just gotta kind of take it as it comes. So
Wow, yeah, I really like that.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely very thoughtful. And they can find that on
Everywhere.
everywhere you're
yeah.
going to be dropping.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, everything you have. So
Okay. And it's just Willa.
Willa.
LLA.
Yeah, just
Okay.
Willa. Yeah.
I don't know how to spell sometimes.
No, you're good. I get a lot of Willows too,
Willows.
so
Yeah, it's very
avoid
similar.
that.
Okay, not Willow.
No.
Willow Smith.
No.
No,
We're
okay.
mixing it up a little bit. No.
Do you have any more plans for the album after it comes out? Are you shooting any music videos? Are you doing anything like that?
Yeah, I'd like to. I have a couple songs in mind that I'm hoping to do some more videos for and promotions for. And then one of the songs on the album, it's already out. It's called Escape Route. There's going to be a version of that coming out that's going to be a little bit different after the fact of the album.
Okay,
So,
Right on.
nice. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I actually have a special guest on that song.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
someone
nice.
super cool, very important to me.
Okay.
I
wonder who.
Yeah.
should I give it a secret?
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, 2 weeks after the album that's dropping. So yeah, that'll be interesting for people to hear a very different version of that song because it's pretty slow and mellow. And then we're just going to kind of bump it up a little bit and see what people think of it.
Nice, that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
What would you say? So you said you've been doing music your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Who inspired you to do music from a young age?
Okay, so she's actually on my shirt. It's Sabrina Carpenter.
Right on.
Okay.
Yeah, so my whole life I've listened to her music, and it's cool because I've listened to her since I was 12 years old, and so as she's grown up in the music industry and just evolved in her style, I feel I've done the same with her. So it's kind of cool growing up with your artist, being a similar age to them, and then she's just, I think her songwriting is really incredible and her voice is incredible. I also love Adele. Grew up obsessed with Katy Perry. I was her like 5 years for Halloween. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
like a lot
I
of
love
like,
Katy
oh,
Perry.
she's incredible. She's so cool. And then like Lady Gaga, I love like very powerful like female like vocalists and artists. Like,
Okay.
yeah, have definitely inspired me. So
What would you say your top, like, let's say like top 5 artists?
top 5 artists. Okay, Sabrina Carpenter's number 1 for me. I just love her. And then probably second, I'd say Lady Gaga. I just think she's a powerhouse.
A powerhouse for sure.
Yeah, she's incredible. I love Adele, love her vocals. She inspires me a lot. And then there's a British artist named Maisie Peters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
I don't know if you,
familiar
yeah,
with-
I've heard a
she's
couple of her songs.
she's really talented. I
good.
think she's really cool. And then I don't know, like a fifth, just like the Beatles, throw them in
The
there.
Beatles? Okay,
Because they're
yeah.
just awesome. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So if we went into Willa's playlist, we would find lots of those artists.
Yeah, it's mostly Sabrina Carpenter too. It's just like all Sabrina.
That's
Nice.
it.
So
Nice.
yeah, kind of
Right on.
obsessed. But
Okay, that's what's
yeah.
up.
hmm
Did you have like family that pushed you to do music as well?
Yeah, so my mom actually grew up very musical and taught me a lot of what I know about music. She actually directs a lot of the shows like at the Cascade Theater and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's really
Nice.
cool.
That's
yeah,
huge,
yeah. So
yeah.
I started out like acting with her. Like she taught me a lot about like musical theater. Like that's what I grew up doing. And I did shows like all throughout middle school. I was Ariel in The Little Mermaid like when I was in 8th grade or something. And so just like being encouraged to like really pursue music like that and just like growing up in musical theater, it's like all you do is sing all the time.
Yeah.
So that was just something that I was always surrounded with.
So where was the breakaway from doing musical theater to just wanting to pursue a solo music career?
I mean, it was always in the back of my mind, but I grew up like super shy.
Okay.
Like I was like painfully shy, and I met this girl and she wrote music when we were like 12 and I had no idea what that was like. I just watched her do it and I was like, how do you just write a song? Like that's like I don't know what that is. And so she encouraged me like join choir with her and like start doing musicals and stuff. And then one night like we were just hanging out, she sat me down, she's like, you need to just write a song and just see what happens.
You're not leaving this desk
No.
until you write a song.
Like I don't even know, we might have even been in math class or something, and she just like I just sat down and like wrote something, and then from then on I just never stopped writing. And it was something I always kind of just kept myself though and was too scared to do. And then honestly when COVID happened, like all I did was like think about like, okay, what's next like after high school, because I was in high school when COVID happened.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah. And so like that whole situation just kind of really propelled me to focus on like, okay, what do I want to do with my life? Like where do
Yeah.
I want to focus my time? And I started recording like with a friend, just like we would record like in his closet and we had like a sock over the mic and everything, like super janky.
Yeah.
Nice.
And like we put blankets like all over the closet walls.
You gotta
for,
start
like-
somewhere.
Yeah. And so then that was something I started doing just like on my own, took a little break, and then started actually like pursuing it like full time.
Nice. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And now like that's what you're trying to do. That's your what is your overall dream with music?
The thing is, for me, music just gives me so much life. And I was like in a place for a long time where all I was doing was just like putting my head down and working. Like I do real estate too. So that was something I was
nice.
just doing for a long time, like real estate school, and just I felt very like unhappy doing that. And so for me, honestly, if I can just do music like my whole life and just only focus on that, like that's what gives me life and makes me happy. And so it's a big thing for me that like the reason I do it is for myself, but also like the more people who listen to it, like it's cool to like hear what they think of it. And it is the songs I write are very personal and like very emotional. And so honestly, just connecting with people is the main goal, and just seeing where it goes from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And
That's
how many
what's up.
shows have you done so far?
Not very many. I opened at my first show in October, and then I did an acoustic show with Calvin Sunday back in January,
Right on.
and that was really fun.
Yeah, that acoustic show was amazing.
It was really cool. It was a
Yeah.
I
neat
did
experience.
miss that one,
Ah,
unfortunately.
lame.
know.
No,
no, you're right. He is lame.
it's super. Yeah,
I wish that I had made it.
it was really cool. But
Everybody was missing you there.
I've only done a couple shows though. Honestly, those in the last year at least, those are the only 2 shows I did. I did a home show like at my house one time, brought like 50 something people to
Oh,
my house.
That's
Nice.
super cool.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was when I
Yeah, what
released
a-
my first song ever. It's called Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where can people find that?
Everywhere again, like
Everywhere,
Spotify,
okay.
anything you have. It's everywhere. But yeah, I did like a home show, like just in my living room for my friends and family and stuff. But yeah, I haven't performed a lot besides like on stage for like theater stuff.
Okay.
So-
But you are used to being on stage because of the theater stuff.
Yeah, I've done it like my whole life since I was like 6 or something.
So do you still get nerves when you're on
Yeah.
stage? Okay,
Yes. Oh my
okay,
gosh, yeah.
I'd still be nervous, I'm sure. But did you do like drama in high school and stuff too?
Yeah.
I think you said you did choir too.
I did, yeah. And then I ended up getting a lead role in one of the musicals in high school, and then like 2 weeks before the show, COVID hit, so I never got to do it.
Oh, that's
But-
so
What?
unfortunate. I love drama in high school, but I
Mhm.
only did it my senior year, or not my senior year, but my last year of high school,
Mhm.
my junior year,
Mhm.
and it was so fun. I was like, damn, I wish I had done this.
It's so much fun, honestly.
the rest of the time, and I never did any of like the shows or anything like
Mm-mm.
that, but I would just like had so much fun in the class.
Totally.
It's like messing around and being somebody else or whatever.
No,
you
it's
know? Like,
that's what's
fun.
cool about it. Yeah, you get to be somebody else for like a second and just like honestly, like that's why it's I think easier to do musical theater, because when you're on stage, the nerves aren't your nerves. You're being somebody else.
Yeah, it's like it's a mask that you're
Mhm.
playing.
Yeah. Like you could just totally switch off like whatever's going on in your life and just tune all out and just be that character and go through what they're going through.
And then when you're doing music on stage, you're vulnerable. Everything's just
Yeah.
out there for the world to see.
yeah, it's a little
Augie-
scary.
Yeah.
Did you do drama in high school?
Yes, I did drama for I think all 4 years.
Nice.
Really?
But
Drama kids.
I did it a little differently because the teachers that I had in drama didn't like put on plays or anything really. They did some. There was like 2 plays in all the years that I did drama.
But what
No,
about,
there's
like,
1 year I didn't do
Starship?
drama. I think my junior year I didn't do drama. Either my sophomore or my junior year. But my English teacher for my last year was the drama teacher, and the only thing we did in that class is watch movies and
Don't
hang
they-
out.
Fair.
Don't they do
Yeah.
Starship though?
Yeah, no, drama doesn't do Starship. Starship is like its own after-school program with like choir kids and stuff.
Oh, but they wouldn't have to have like a teacher for that, right? And they wouldn't be the same drama teacher.
No, it's not a. It's not like
It's not a
It's not.
drama thing?
It's more of like that's more of a musical performance. Drama
I
is
never
more
ended
of
up
like
doing that.
just like doing plays. And
This is Willa, and this song is called Tightrope.
Tightrope got me losing all my balance. Don't go, you become a bad habit. No clothes, you know I love a challenge. You got some high hopes, but you know you're just a bandage. Trying to find a way that we'd manage. Say you want me, but we both know that we're damaged. Talking all the future, but I don't know how to take it. You don't have my heart, but you might know how to break it. Don't call me shawty, I just called you up 'cause I need somebody. Said I'm not falling, boy, but there's something about the way that you're talking. You say you don't care for childish romance. You make no sense. You know you make me want you. Feels like I'm walking on a tightrope. Got me losing all my balance. Don't go, you become a bad habit. No clothes, you know I love a challenge. You got some high hopes, but you know you're just a bandage. Called you, it ain't a mistake. Now I'm in your car and I know that we're faded. And I can't walk away or refrain 'cause I want your heart and I wanna be selfish. I guess you won. You keep me up at night. Draw the lines. This never was enough. You say you don't care for childish romance. You make no sense. You know you make me want you. Feels like I'm walking on a tightrope. Got me losing all my balance. Don't go, you become a bad habit. No clothes, you know I love a challenge. You got some high hopes, but you know you're just a bandage. Tightrope, got me losing all my balance. Don't go, you become a bad habit. No clothes, you know I love a challenge. You got some high hopes, but you know you're just a bandage.
So that's that.
fire.
Thanks.
That was really good.
love that.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's gonna be on my album. That-
Okay, and
yeah.
what's your album called?
It's called Blueprint for Breakups.
Okay, where did you come up with the name for that? You know.
Yeah.
Wait.
A lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your most memorable?
Honestly, as funny as it is, like being Ariel in The Little Mermaid in like 8th grade,
Mhm.
like that was probably the most memorable. Not only because I had like 8 costume changes and had to work that all out, but it just like it was a really cool experience. Like kind of break out of my shell a little bit, because that was when I was like really shy.
Yeah.
And just be like, okay, like tune everything out, like I could just be this character and be on stage, and then like having all the like little girls after come up to you and be like, oh my gosh, take a picture with me. Like that was fun.
That's cool.
So that always sticks out to me, because that felt like a moment for me where I was like, oh, like I can be on stage and in front of people and not be so scared and shy. And
So do you think that's made you more of like a confident person in general?
I think so. I'd say I'm a pretty confident person, but like everyone, like you get insecure, you overthink,
course.
like you're your own worst critic always. Especially when it comes to like art and music,
Yeah.
like just critiquing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I feel like I have become very confident just by like throwing myself into fear, honestly, and just being like,
Trial by
it.
fire is the best way to learn,
Mm-hmm.
because like things are always scary, because there's always a fear before you do anything that you've
Always.
never done before,
Mhm.
because the fear comes from not knowing the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just live your whole life in fear, you're never going to do anything.
No.
It's just all about like just jumping off the cliff,
Mhm.
just into the fear, and then you get there, you're like, wow, that was like super fun, let me do that again.
Yeah. No, you have to face it. And like my whole thing is like, if you don't, you're just telling your brain that like you should be afraid.
Yeah.
Like you're afraid to live.
You're giving it an excuse to stay afraid,
Mhm.
because your body's like, no, we shouldn't do this, and then your mind is also like, okay, yeah, no, we shouldn't do this,
Yeah.
and that just stays in your subconscious forever.
Yeah, and then it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like
live.
there's like a tally balance, you know what I'm saying? Like every time is like a yes or no, and if you choose no when you should have chose yes, it like goes on one side.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you just keep like putting things in there, and it just gets heavier.
Mhm.
And eventually it's like super hard to
But
outbalance. You got to just like do shit that's hard and that you don't want to do.
I don't know,
You
but
have to.
I think it is easier in that way, right? You can say no as many times as you want, and things will keep getting harder. But if you take a yes one time after saying 1,000 no's, like all those no's get erased.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you finally like do the thing, even if it's not the thing that you've been saying no to, but you finally get out of your comfort zone and do one of those things. You just tell yourself, you're like, wow, that was not as hard or scary as I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be.
Well, that's
Yeah.
how you build confidence, you
Mhm.
know. And if you're lacking confidence, then you definitely need to do something that's difficult or scares you.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Just step out of your comfort zone, because that's what's keeping you depressed or like not confident, really.
Yeah, and that really takes a toll on people's mentals. You know, people there's no reason that, I mean, depression and anxiety, absolutely a real thing.
Oh,
There's no reason
100%.
so many people should have them though.
No.
You know, I think society has just become like too safe and too like, this is the way things should be, that people just don't want to step out of that. People don't want to be weird. People want to stay comfortable in their own little bubble for their whole life.
Nah, be weird. It's okay.
Do it. Well, you can't live like that. It's like, if you're gonna do something, do it afraid, because you're gonna be afraid no matter what.
Exactly. Even if you're just chilling at
Oh, that's a
home
good
in
quote.
your house, something's going to scare you.
Oh,
So you
always.
might as well do something fun that's going to scare you,
Mhm.
you know?
And then looking back, you'll be like proud of yourself and like, oh, like I can do that. Or the next time something scary comes up, you're like, well, I did this.
Mhm.
Like I can do that thing.
Exactly. And it's a longer, more fulfilling like dopamine release, rather than your just like quick fixes like sugar or like smoking or like whatever, yeah, TV, like whatever like a quick fix of dopamine is. Like
Yeah.
those things that scare you, that you're so afraid of doing,
Mhm.
are going to feel so much better. Like you would be astounded how good you feel after doing something like that.
Well, I used to be like deathly afraid of traveling.
Mhm.
Like I couldn't do it. Like every time I set foot in a car or anything, like I wouldn't go.
Really?
And so last August, I was like, I literally can't live like this, especially
Yeah.
if I want to like pursue
man.
music. Like I can't. And so I told my dad, I was like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. And he's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I was like, I'm going away to like, I'm gonna go to Oregon. I'm gonna go to like the coast, and I'm gonna be gone alone for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I got myself a little
Wow.
cabin in Ashland, and I stayed there for like 2 weeks straight, and just like figured it out. And I definitely like struggle with anxiety, and so like especially like facing fear like that, it was like every day of that trip, like panic attacks, like constantly
Yeah.
freaking out, totally alone. And by the end of the trip, I was like, oh, like I did it.
Comfortable with
Good
yourself.
for you.
Yeah. And then I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't have a
that's
panic
awesome.
attack like the last few days.
Nice.
And I was like I made it through, and it sucked, but it was like honestly probably the best thing like I ever
No,
did
good
for
for you.
myself.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And now I'm like traveling all the time. I went to Europe 2 months ago by myself.
Nice.
Like,
That's awesome.
All the plane rides alone, like everything. And yeah, it's like I met my best friend there. She was living there at the time.
Okay.
But it's like, yeah, doing the whole travel thing alone, especially to another country, is trippy.
Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
that's something that most people, and like most people have troubles like leaving their hometown.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like a real big problem in my head.
Mhm.
Like there's so much to the world out there that needs to be explored. And I get some people are content just, staying in their own city for their whole life,
Yeah.
but you won't know until you go.
Mm-mm. There's just so much out there, and it's like if you're limiting yourself to one city and one group of people constantly, it's like, yeah, you guys can get close and you can build a community and have like support and people around you, but it's like that's not the world.
And it
Yeah.
kind of becomes an echo chamber, really. You just
Mhm.
like only surround yourself with people that you know and like because they think the same way that you do.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
And then
yeah.
you never grow or do anything.
And you're living in the same world. You think the whole world is like your group because that's just all you've ever known.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's a big problem with like people, because for a long time, people in Reading have always been like, "Fuck this place! Like this place is terrible," and those people never leave.
That's
You know what
true,
I mean?
actually.
Those people always stay here because they're afraid to go anywhere else because they think, like everywhere must be like this. I've had so many conversations with people like that it's like fuck Reading. I'm like, well then go somewhere. They're like, no, everywhere's like this.
But it's not.
Bro.
And even Reading, I
What?
don't think
I
Reading's
like it
that
here,
bad.
dude.
I know, yeah. I'm like, I've lived here my whole life, and it's not terrible.
There's a lot of stuff to do here if you're not afraid. If you go out and do it. Like people that's another thing. Like people are afraid to do things on their own.
Yeah.
If nobody's going out or if nobody's inviting them to do the thing, they just stay home.
No, 100%.
And I completely agree. Reading sucks if you just stay inside all day.
But pretty much everywhere sucks if you just stay at your house all day.
That's
dude.
fair. And there's so
You're
much
just, like, in
going on
prison.
here too. Like I feel like there's shows constantly that I see, and like I always have like a Friday night where there's something for me to do.
Yeah, there hasn't been a Friday night that hasn't had like a show or like a DJ night or anything for well over like 2 years now, at
Well,
least.
Some sort of event. at
Yeah,
least.
the art community here is just huge too. Like my friend Leah, she's organizing with her friends this really cool thing called Figures. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Sounds kind of familiar.
It's like it's an art collective,
not
and
heard.
yeah,
I think I
it's
just
really
heard
sick.
about it like
Do tell.
yesterday.
Yeah, it's like, so basically the first one they did, first event, it was a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a couple months ago, but they went to the cellar where my show's gonna be, and they basically did like a figure study, which is where like someone will sit up there and you'll like paint them, draw them, whatever medium you want.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and she always has like I played piano at one event, and it was like live music all like the whole time, and you just paint and hang out, and
Oh,
I
that sounds
baked
fun.
for it one time. Yeah, you just it's really cool.
Wow.
And there was
sounds
like a
fun.
concert one, so she's doing a lot for like the artists in town. It's
Yeah,
really
that sounds like a really nice community event.
It's really cool. So, but there's stuff like that like everywhere. There's like music events and art events. Like it's constant. I feel like in Reading, and I feel like you just have to get out there and do it.
So to navigate that, what kind of advice would you give people that are looking to just find what to do in Reading?
I mean, honestly, just like I feel like so much is advertised for it, but like once you find something, like do it afraid. Like go out and do it alone, and take a friend if you feel like you need that. But it's like if you see something, you gotta just go for it. Like everything
Yeah.
we've been talking about, it's like if you feel afraid to go do it, or you feel limited to like not being able to, it's like just go for it. Like you kind of just have to.
Yeah.
Like you'll meet people. Like I've met people at all of these events, and they're
And
really neat.
That's big. You know, there's a lot of people, again, that always like they can't find friends. They don't know how to make friends.
It's hard.
It's like
Making
go to
friends is-
places alone, and you will make one friend. You talk to one person.
Yeah.
You know, because nobody is that uninviting that they're just gonna be like fuck off when they like talk to
No.
you. And if they
are,
are,
you don't want
they're
that.
a dick. They're just being a dick.
Yeah, you
know
don't
what I
want
mean?
that friend if they're gonna do that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
No, but there's people everywhere. So.
Talking to people and making friends is a skill, and you can practice it and get better at it. And like go to the grocery store and say hi to somebody that you don't know. Like that's something that you can do.
Yeah.
And just ask them about their day.
Yeah. And actually be interested in them, you know, or like give somebody a genuine compliment.
Just be nice.
Yeah. Be a real person and like
Yeah.
talk to people, and you can make friends.
And you will see how easy it is to just
Yeah.
have a conversation with anybody.
It's so hard though, because like as someone who was always so shy, like I didn't reach out to anyone.
Yeah.
Like I was always just like I just sat there, and it wasn't until I like joined choir and doing musicals and stuff that I actually like made friends with like other really neat people.
Yeah.
But
People
it's,
like you.
I mean, like people who like shared interests with me, and like that was what was cool, is that I felt like I had built up a community of people that like I understood and they understood me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, is that I think everyone just wants to be understood, and they're just afraid to put themselves out there for fear of being misunderstood.
Yeah.
Well,
no, that's a very good way to put that.
Yeah, and like you said, like you were in choir and that's how you met people, that's another way to make friends. Is go do something that you're interested in. Like if you like rock climbing or you're interested in that, go
group event.
Do that by yourself, and there's going to be a whole bunch of people there in a community. And if you haven't ever joined like a different community before, every single one is extremely inviting.
Every single one has one person that will come up to you and introduce you to everyone else.
Yeah,
well,
they're
want
super
you there.
nice.
They want as many people as possible to do it. It's like they're not going to tell you to go away.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of building up a community of people who do something cool like rock climbing or
That
music?
just gate cleep.
You'll get
Cleep
Just
gate it. After you cleep gate it.
Well, but you're not going to do that. You want as many people as possible to like be doing cool things in your town so that the whole town can be cool. It's like you're not going to just tell people to go away. It's like that's not how it works.
You know, you want people to think like the thing you're doing is cool. So if you keep like kicking people away, they're gonna be like, "Fuck that thing, dude."
Yeah, no one's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So it's making friends is intimidating in that way, but it's like there's so many ways to do it now, and there's so many cool people. Like especially in this town, I feel like we have such creative, adventurous people here. It's
we've
really
all
neat.
we've all kind of stepped up in the last couple of years. Like COVID was really good for us because it took away a lot of the stress of everyday living, and we could just live for a while.
100%.
And that really like let everybody take a step back and like decide what they wanted to do. And
ruin the country
Yes.
at the expense of our country.
You know?
We all got a hard reset on life, and we're all feeling chill.
But now we're gonna save the country. It's actually like
Yes.
cool seeing a lot of like the influencers and people online, because I feel like in the past couple of years, people from our generation have really started to step up and actually like present themselves and make a difference, and more so than the older generations that have been ruining this country. It seems like there's a lot more. It's given me a lot more hope for the country.
I also have noticed recently in the past couple of years, like people are getting more into like developing themselves as people.
Totally.
And like being a better person for themselves.
Healthy.
Where it's like I got to get healthy. More people are going to the gym, which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And people are like eating better and not eating out as much.
Not me.
You know.
Not me.
I mean, yeah. Are you staying away from like McDonald's and stuff though? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I would love to
love
say
McDonald's.
yes.
I do love McDonald's. I just,
know,
like, it's tough.
McFlurries are just like too good to
It's
stay
so
away
bad.
from.
It is so good.
No.
But also,
No.
you gotta eat.
No.
Healthy. You gotta eat healthy.
You do, but I think honestly,
Can't put
like,
poison in your body.
well, not only just like the physical aspects of health, but I think so many people are trying to conquer like their mental health.
Yeah.
Like is what I've seen, and like obviously they go hand in hand, but like I see so many more people talking about like therapy or talking about like their experiences, like just opening up about your struggles. I think is the biggest thing, and I see so much more
Being
of that.
vulnerable.
Yeah, being very vulnerable. It's important, but it's hard to do.
Yeah. It's I think it stems a lot from how during COVID there wasn't much going on in any community. Like there wasn't really celebrities that were influencing people. There just wasn't much going on. So there
No.
wasn't just a load of information coming in that people had to follow. So they started just maybe thinking for themselves for the first time in a long time.
That's what you gotta do. Well, I think it gave people a pause to like slow down and think like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what makes me happy? What do I need to be like pursuing and doing with my time? Because you have more than enough time at that point.
Yeah.
You also don't have influence. So like your
Sure.
friends aren't like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that. You're just kind of like, well, I'm kind of like sitting at home or like
Yeah.
not doing a lot. It's like, what can I
I've
do?
Yeah.
watched this show 10 times.
what do
I've
I-
been playing video games for
Yeah.
like the past 3 days.
Maybe I'll learn how to play guitar or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'll just like pick something up. Or like maybe I do like baking.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty cool, I guess, you know? And so,
Boredom breeds creativity and innovation.
well, that's that like discomfort that we were talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh, I hate being bored though. I'm bad at it.
I'm bad at
and that's
being
also
bored.
why so many
I
people
hate
have
being bored,
ADD and
too.
ADHD because no one can stand being
It's
bored.
input. You have too much input all the time.
I just like going like at speed 100 constantly.
Yeah.
Like I'm always doing something. Like I work like 4 jobs right now. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So real estate was something I got into when I was
Uh-huh.
17.
Okay.
I got my real estate license, and I've been doing that since. I'm not as involved with it now, more of like an assistant with it.
Okay.
I'm a barista at a coffee shop
Okay.
downtown.
Which coffee shop?
Downtown Grounds. It's kind of new.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where like the old Starbucks used to be. I don't know. If you...
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. There
I'm
wasn't a
just kidding.
drive-through, it was shut down. But
Yeah.
no, but and then I
Freaking
nanny,
mango.
so I do that
Okay.
like on the side, and then I'm a receptionist now for like Cal Fire.
Nice.
Right on.
Wow. And then you're doing music full time on top of that.
Trying to, yeah, and especially with like the album coming out in a couple weeks, like I've been busy, and like the show happening
Yeah.
too. It's like a lot of planning,
Yeah.
but it's really fun.
Right on.
Stressful, but definitely worth it.
Super worth it. Yeah.
And plus, like that, I'm sure gives you enough money to record and do cover arts.
Yeah,
and-
all the money I make goes straight to music, honestly. It's
Yeah.
been that way for like the last year, I swear.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
Well, that's good that you stay focused.
try
because
to.
again, a lot of people fall off. I fall off all the time. It's just like, it's just so much sometimes.
Well, I've had moments where I'm like, I want to quit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like even like between like January and March, I released a song but barely promoted and took like a huge step back from music, like huge break from my album. I was just like burnt out of everything because it's
Yeah.
emotionally draining too. Like making music, like especially when you're trying to write about like real experiences or like just not even real experiences, just write about real human emotion. It's like
Yeah.
you have to kind of tap into that, relate it to yourself or other people, and it's like I don't know, just constantly going, like putting all your money, all your time, all your like energy towards it. It's like it can really burn you
It's
out.
exhausting.
Yeah, like creative jobs are incredibly exhausting, but they're worth it.
Yeah. Like especially the fact of just becoming your own boss,
Mm-hmm.
being able to the eventual goal of making a living off of music, like
Or anything.
Yeah.
like what a fantastic thought that is, to do something that you love and have other people love it and be able to like sustain your life on it.
Yeah.
Not even fucking make millions, but if I could pay all of my bills and have like $1,000 extra a month, I would be happy.
That'd be everything you need.
Yeah.
Easy. But it's hard to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with
difficult.
It's a
creative
long
jobs.
time,
It's a
especially
lot.
now with the rise of social media and shit, because no one uses a record label anymore. You
Sure.
can put your own stuff out. There's distribution websites. You can put your own stuff anywhere, and the competition is fierce.
Goodness.
true.
And you
And
think
the goal is just to really connect with people
Mhm.
in anything that you do.
Yeah.
Like no matter what your art is, I know it's just to connect to people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what you should focus on. Is like not making the money, like you said, like
Mhm.
just being able to pay your bills. Like that would be so cool. But the more people you connect with, like it just pays you
Yeah.
for that.
It's
Yeah.
more fulfilling.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
staying real and genuine and not letting outside influences really touch you.
It's really hard though, like especially like as someone who is very like insecure and hypercritical of like everything I do. It's
Mhm.
like when other people bring me an idea or like tell me like, "Oh, I think you should do this." I normally run with their idea. Like I
Really?
have in the past because like
You
like
just
you
like, oh,
question
my
your
idea's gonna be
ideas.
worse.
Yeah, or I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, they're so successful at this or they're so good at this. Like why is my idea any better than theirs?" Like it's probably not. Like I probably should just do what they say, So it's
Mhm.
so hard to not be influenced by people, especially like when they're your friends or you look up to them,
Yeah.
or they're other people you think are creative. But I'm trying to work on that.
That's
yeah.
something that I've talked about a lot in the podcast. Like, I struggled with that too,
Mhm.
right? But the realization of this is art. This is your art,
Mhm.
right? Like, it shouldn't be muddied down by what anyone else says, even if it is going to be a better idea.
Yeah.
Even if what they said is going to be a better idea,
True.
it's your art. It's what you want to make it.
No, that's
It-
true.
it's like someone painting a painting.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to understand why they're painting it, because it's
Mm-mm.
not for you to understand.
No.
Someone will understand it and interpret it in the way like that they want to
No,
interpret
that's
it.
super true. Yeah, and then also like because there are so many artists, it's like you want to be as unique and individual as possible.
Exactly.
Because if you start mimicking the people that you're influenced by, like the people you look up to or just your friends in general who might do music, it's like you're suddenly going to turn into just one of them.
exactly.
And they don't need another one.
Creating
Yeah.
competition for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
good. So
Yeah.
it's like you kind of want to just, it's hard to do, and I'm still
It is.
figuring it out, but it's like you got to figure out what you want to represent and like how you want to market that and like show that through your music. It's like it's a hard thing to do, but
It's
you
so
have to stay as individual as possible, I think, in this industry.
Yeah, in the realness and the rawness that has developed over just social media being a thing is so immense that the whole scene has been kind of turned on its head.
Mm-hmm.
And no one really knows what it takes to become that next #1 star, that next like most poppin'. Nobody knows.
I mean,
Like how could you?
You can
Like
predict.
you
Well,
could
I mean,
you
it's
could
pretty
you
easy,
could you could
actually.
market.
yeah, if you just like do a ritual and sacrifice somebody that you love,
That's
and
true.
do like something super humiliating, I hear it's like that's kind of how you do it.
Nah.
Oh
Sounds
yeah.
easy.
From what
that's
I've read on
true.
the forums.
Did you read my my memo about Yule?
No.
Yeah, so I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
need you to. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be out in the woods this year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be there.
Oh my gosh.
No, you need to be there. You're like a big part of it.
Oh.
No.
All right. Well,
No.
Yule will be near one of the last few episodes of the Broccoli Pod. It sounds like.
Goodness.
But Augie will be
make way for my
famous.
solo career.
Augie's gonna be famous.
That's what matters.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
No.
I'm glad to know I'm important to you. That's all I got from that.
Yeah, dude. Really important person in my
I
life,
need to get from it.
but not more important than my career.
That's all right. I get it. Do you, bro? Do you?
Yeah. Judge.
It can be fair. We can like have like a fight to the death or something. You know.
On the podcast.
Oh wait.
Dude.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
The
that
final
gives me 6 months.
podcast.
It's fine. I'll also have 6 months.
There can only
Gives
be
me
one.
6 months to train.
Oh gosh.
See how big I can get in 6 months.
We're releasing the location on the second to last episode of the Broccoli Pod. There's gonna be a live audience.
And it'll be like a Black Mirror episode.
Fight to the death. Oh gosh.
The last real gladiators.
Wow. That's what you should just call it.
The last real gladiator.
Just
We'll
call
change
it
the
that.
name of the podcast
Pod.
too.
The last real gladiators. That's great.
And unless you've seen this episode, you won't know why it's called that.
Mm-mm.
And then in a year from now, you'll be very confused.
It's true.
Well, Willa,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
It's been a wonderful episode and
Yeah.
getting to know you.
It's been. Thanks for having me. It's been really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was good getting to know you and listen to your music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you have a great song going on my
you.
Lady Jams
Love
playlist
it. Love
for
it.
sure. Right up there with some Lady Gaga and
Wow.
oh yeah, no, you got to check it out. It's a good playlist.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it's banging.
Sick.
Link
I
is
think
right
Cher
there.
Lloyd's on there. I got a few like that are weird, but it's all right.
That's okay. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
add some weird.
All right. Anyway, we appreciate you
Yeah,
being on
thank
here.
you.
Why don't you go ahead and plug and promote your shows and album one more time and where they
Yeah.
can find you?
Yeah. So if you just look up Blueprint for Breakups on July 1st when it comes out, it'll be by Willa. That's just Willa. And then my Instagram is truly Willa. If you want to message me, let me know what you think of the music. And you can find all my other songs on Spotify or SoundCloud, wherever you want to go. So yeah.
Go check her
Right.
out. Her music is very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate
You guys heard it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Post in the
Banging.
comments what you think about it. Like,
Yeah.
share, subscribe.
Ring the bell, whatever they say. You know how it goes.
All the things.
We appreciate you. This has been one more episode of the Broccoli Pod. We're your hosts. I'm Capital J,
I'm Augie Dupre.
and this was,
Willa.
and we out.
Peace.
Tightrope got me losing all my balance. Don't go, you become a bad habit. No clothes, you know I love a challenge. You got some high hopes, but you know you're just a bandage. Trying to find a way that we manage. Say you want me, but we both know that we're damaged. Talking all the future, but I don't know how to take it. You don't have my heart, but you might know how to break it. Don't call me shawty, I just called you